What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to episode number 3 of 3 on how a professional reads the lanes in comparison to an amateur like myself. If you haven't seen the other videos in this series, please go back and watch episode 1 on the fresh, episode 2 on the burn. Now we're in episode 2 in transition. Episode 3 on the burn. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, you guys already know Chad's gonna steal all your bowling balls and we're gonna become rich. We're gonna take over the world with the ore inside the balls or something. Whatever scares you at night, that's what we're gonna use. But if you subscribe, none of that's gonna happen. Yeah, you basically gotta beg them.
Hey.
Beg them to subscribe. No, so all right, so what we learned on the fresh was that I needed urethane. His fast pitch looked amazing on the fresh. When we got into transition, he got way left than I did. And I probably should have tried a few more shots from deeper in the transitional phase. But now this is the big one, I think, because I brought stuff with polish. You didn't bring anything with polish. Mm-hmm. What are you looking for now that we're getting into the burn that maybe we didn't see on the fresh, that maybe we didn't see in that transitional phase?
So part of it is when I threw urethane on the get-go in episode 1, basically I've kind of inverted or elongated the pattern to a certain degree. So now there's been a little extra hold for both of us. And that's kind of what urethane does. A lot of bit of hold,
yeah.
So with what I'm going to see now is I'm going to probably start in that exponent. I'm still going to be pretty far left. But now that I have this little shim, basically until that shim kind of dissipates or goes away, I could probably live there for a little while. But once that happens, then I'll probably either have to get more over the lane, which I mean lofting it further onto the lane.
A little bit loft.
Or
and we're not talking lofting to the arrows. We're just talking like a footer or something?
Yeah, like the dots that are on the other side, about a 5-6 foot loft over the heads, because the heads are going to be hooking earlier.
Because of the urethane ball.
Well, because of the rev rate of reactive of where I'm setting it now.
Okay. Yeah, and then for me, like I said, I brought 2 polish balls, and the TNT infused has been a ball that I've really liked to get left and kind of like that slow hook. Mm-hmm. So I think if I have a chance to throw that from a little bit deeper, I will, but I typically wouldn't look at something like the Summit from a little bit further left. I may even go back and look at the Magic Gem, because like we talked about a little bit in episode 1 and in episode 2, sometimes you need a stronger cover to handle all that oil in the middle part of the lane, especially now that we know that there's so much hold there as well. I may even take a look at that Magic Gem a little bit. I definitely want to throw the Zen Gold and the TNT infused a little bit first. But if those don't look good, I think I'm going to take a look at the Summit, take a look at that Magic Gem.
I think the Summit actually, for you, especially moving in a little bit, as long as you're not getting it way right, it's going to recover, and still make shape for you. Again, kind of keep in mind too, when we move left, a lot of times we don't necessarily want the same target down lane. We're going to tighten everything.
Move everything.
Basically bring it in to where the gutter was originally our out of bounds. Now out of bounds might be like 6 or 7.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I'm noticing when I bowl on house versus when I bowl on, we didn't talk about the pattern. We're bowling on Earl Anthony, 43 feet, 3-to-1 ratio. And I guess the goal should be try to transition the lanes to a point where it feels like a house shot.
Well, and that's the thing. It's a little softer of a sport pattern
to start
with. But again, having people that play in the same part of the lane or understanding what happens, this is why when people say, how are they scoring so well on these patterns, or they see on TV, guys get an hour and a half to basically bowl on the pattern before the show. So then they kind of broken it down to something that everyone's
it's not impossible.
With. Correct.
Yeah. So what was I saying before?
You were talking about comparisons, you were talking about oil patterns, and then you were talking about what balls you were wanting to do, and we talked about out of bounds.
Oh, yeah,
and the transition.
Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. So you guys are seeing us throw these shots here, and I hope that my goal or hope is that the shiny ball looks good. But if it doesn't, then I have to not be afraid of getting into a bigger ball. Because I want to get as far left as you are, at least at some point, just to see. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Now that I'm talking, I remember what I was going to say. When I bowl league, a lot of my moves are like 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, right, on house, because there's just so much friction to the right. I feel like my moves here have to be more parallel moves, like 2-2s, 1-1s, 3-3s.
And for some people it is. Other people, you know, for me it's extremes. I started off around like the 10 type range, and now within 3-ish games combined and stuff like that, now I'm at 25, 26. So
Yeah.
like you
So
might
your
move
moves are pretty
small
big.
zones, you might move area codes. It's what the lane shows you what you need to do.
Okay. All right, so I think that we have enough talking footage here, unless maybe we can milk it for another few minutes of us talking over all these shots. But guys, the biggest thing is let us know if you want Chad to come back for more videos, because if you don't, then we'll get rid of him. But if you do, you have to let us know. And if you let us know that you want Chad in more videos and you're not subscribed, your vote doesn't count. So this is like voter ID. Oh no, we can't talk politics.
No, can't talk politics.
We can't talk politics.
No.
Just make sure you subscribe or your vote doesn't count. All right, so now we're all done with this entire series. We started on the fresh, went into that kind of transitional phase, and now on the burn. I learned a whole lot this video. I learned that it doesn't really matter what you throw as long as you break them down the right way. Because I kind of did what Chad was doing, and what he basically taught me was kind of just slow hook it to that right, and then there was friction there, and there was plenty of hold in. There was a couple shots there where I got it in a little bit, and they just held. And when I hit my mark, I thought that the TNT looked really good, the gold label looked good, the Magic Gem looked good. The Summit was a little, that's the one that was a little too weak to really hook it with, but a little too strong to try to get on top of it. But all in all, I took a whole lot away from this, and I hope that, ow. And I hope that you guys took a lot away from this as well. What about you? Do you think that they're going to play anything like this, like they are at the regional?
So, I mean, the characteristics of the house, kind of we talked about with the high friction and stuff like that. Again, South Point does have a lot of friction built into the plaza as well. When we bowled the last tournament, which was I think back in February, maybe-ish.
The RPI? Yeah, January, February.
We, you know, the pattern that we were on there was not necessarily softer, but the last regional that we bowled, where it was the Don Johnson, the Las Vegas Open, basically I used the fake, and I was able to almost like swing it from day one.
Oh, wow.
But I had a little bit of surface on it as well. So again, that polish is kind of one of those really risk-reward type things, because if it's too dry, as soon as polish sees the friction, it's going to stand up and overhook. Where again, as surface burns up, we can be a little bit softer, and that's kind of what I was trying to help you with, was get the ball to be a little bit softer to get to the spot and allow the ball still to create shape, because it doesn't fully burn out, you know, type thing. So, but it's understanding what you're seeing and understanding the dynamics of the ball when it comes to the sport pattern versus the house characteristics.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. Let us know what other topic you would like to us to discuss in the comments. It seems like you guys really want Chad, and I'm saying that before any of these videos even go live, because I know that you guys are going to like Chad, because who doesn't like this big hunk of a guy?
Well,
Till next time, guys.